to put food on the table. My baby struggle to raise 4 bad kids all alone. Never once complained about our daddies being gone. I think about the day as a grown man. To my beautiful babies, I'm gonna be a man. Amen. To all the ladies out there that's holding it down, that's doing your thing without the daddies around. Yeah. All the ladies, put your hands up. You deserve it, put your hands up. All the independent ladies, put your hands up. Can you holler if you hear me out? All the independent ladies, put your hands up. Much love to you. To be treated like a queen. Every boy can make a baby, but it takes a man. To stick by your little babies the best you can. The woman already catching enough pain. Won't you kick in and help trying to do the same? Yeah, yeah. I think about today as a grown man. To my beautiful babies, I'ma be a man. Amen. To all the ladies out there that's holding it down, that's doing your thing without the daddy around. Independent lady, all the ladies, throw your hands up, 'cause you deserve the very best. All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. Much love from me, yeah. All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. Can you holler if you hear me? To be treated like a queen. Independent lady. All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. Keep your head up high. All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. You deserve the very best. All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. The independent ladies, to be treated like a queen.
Good afternoon. Hello, everybody.
Love your family. Take care of them.
Hey, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? And this is Paul Freeman hollering at you from atlweb.com radio. And we're sitting here in Atlanta with great weather today. And if you heard the first song, all you ladies hold your hands up, all you fabulous mamas, because this is today we're dedicating our show to Mother's Day, and to all you mothers out there, and we want you all to be recognized today. So everything today is dedicated to the ladies, all the moms who out there, the ones who've already raised kids, the ones who are beginning to raise kids, and some of you are just holding your tiny babies in your arms. But we want you to enjoy the show today. We want you to hear all the good music we have coming forward to you. And like I said again, congratulations to all you ladies on Mother's Day for being the moms you are. And we're going to keep it rolling here, because one of the most things we want you to realize is, one of the most important things we want you to realize is that you gotta love your family. And we're going to bring that on for you just a minute. Just a minute. Better still, ladies, I would like to just take you to Bill Withers and This song is dedicated to the grandmoms out there.
Love your family. Take care of your family. 'Cause I love you, family. Love your family. Take care of your family. Who's the blue? Had them head bump, had them head bump. Falling off. Collard greens and chicken, collard greens and chicken, and fried chicken in this motherfucker. Give me a leg, give me a leg. Sweet potato pie, step down, potato pie, step down. Oh, grandma did a thing. Ooh, granny put a feed in, granny put a feed in. I'm taking a couple of these pies home straight up. Moonshine for my home, moonshine for my home. We get money now, but don't be straight. Nigga drink how you want, nigga drink how you want. Don't start acting crazy. I help you like weed, help you like weed tree. Money, beat, all up. Nigga smoke how you want, nigga smoke how you want. It's all love on the phone, it's all love on the phone. So love your family. If you love your nigga, hug your nigga. If that's your sister, hug her right now. Hug your family, hug your family. If she play with your sister, beat her fucking ass. Love your family, love your family. You know how we is, we coming, we gon' fight for all everybody go to court. Everybody going to court. Free Jerome, man, you already know it. Sugar tea, potato salad. You know my family make the best potato salad off the gate. Made by my uncle dad, made by my uncle dad. Main cheese playing cards, we love the game. Shooting dice on the phone, shake 'em up, let 'em go. Bronson, your dice, nigga, your dice, man. Going with him to the phone, going with him to the phone. I'm going with him, man. Oh shit, it's time to eat, nigga. Crawfish like, hey, hey. We love crawfish, ain't it? Niggas sucking all the head, niggas sucking all the head. Oh, belly, yeah, oh, belly, yeah. So love your family. If you love your nigga, hug your nigga. If that's your sister, hug her right now. Hug your family, hug your family. If she play with your sister, beat her fucking ass. Love your family, love your family. Go love your family. Go hug your family. Go hug your family. Go hug your family. Sugar tea tastes right. Oh, we about to dance now. Stir that potato salad here. Yeah. Lay by my down, lay by my head. Stir that potato salad here. Yeah, like that. Sugar tea potato salad. Sugar tea potato salad. Stir it. We gon' turn up. You gon' know we been there out the top. Just left Miami. We on the jet skis. We going to Six Flags everywhere straight up. Ooh, love them chillin'. I love the family. I love you. Keep my hand. Keep my hand.
Love your family, and I know all of y'all eating that potato salad and all them that macaroni and cheese on Mother's Day today, and probably I don't know what kind of meat you got on that table, but I know it's a good meal, cause it's a special day. You know, one of the things I want to recognize today, as I said, we're dedicating this show to all mothers, cause it's Mother's Day, and we're going to be recognizing some people I'd like for you to recognize. One of the in our historical background is Maggie Lena Walker. And I remember this name now. Miss Walker was born in 1864, and she was the daughter of Elizabeth Draper, a former kitchen slave, and then cook in the Civil War. Her mom was a cook in the Civil War household of Union sympathizer Elizabeth Van Loo. Walker grew up helping her mother run a small laundry service. And the reason I'm glad I could bring up this lady name, the lady named Elizabeth Van Loo, because we got to realize one thing. Getting through what we went through and getting out of slavery, we had to have some people who really saw the wrongness of it, the tragedy of it, the mistreatment of it. But when we're getting back to Maggie Lou Walker, her business led her to, at 17, to an office in the Independent Order of the St. Luke, a black burial society, in 1903. She founded the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank, and it was probably the first African American female bank president in America. As a matter of fact, history says she was the first woman president in a bank ever in the United States. That was 1930. She started St. Luke Penny Savings Bank, which became the Consolidated Bank and Trust Company, with Maggie Walker as chairman. The bank continued to operate as a black-owned institution until 2005, when it was purchased by Abigail Adams Corporation. The name Consolidated Bank and Trust Company will cease to exist after premium purchase of the business. Maggie Walker's interest in India extended beyond her business ventures. She founded the Richmond Council of Colored Women, a group that raised money for education and health programs. She was a political activist in the black community and worked for women's suffrage, and then voter registration after the passage of the 19th Amendment. She published a newspaper, the St. Louis Herald, and was an active member of the First African Baptist Church. On this Mother's Day, we want to give a shout out to Maggie Lena Walker for all her contributions to our history. Another lady, before we get started again, I'd like to talk about is Madam C.J. Walker. And Madam C.J. Walker, everybody sees her as perhaps, most people say she's Oprah Winfrey is the Madam C.J. Walker of today. Madam C.J. Walker started with a hair comb and hair products, and in the 1900s, I think it was in 1900, she was the first black millionaire in the United States. And the thing about Madam C.J. Walker, the greatest thing about her that nobody ever talks about is going back years ago when people were selling products, which is what may happen now. They were going door to door, knocking the door to door, bam, 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 door to door. And Madam C.J. Walker kind of revolutionized the door-to-door salesman concept, because during the time when she was marketing her products, she had over 2,500 people across the United States marketing her products. And before I get back to music, last week we talked about James Weldon Johnson and all the things he did. But one of the things I really like to mention is what I noticed about all the people in our history were all fighters for us to move forward in equal rights. James Weldon Johnson, I talked about him last week, but he was Undersecretary, Executive Secretary of the NAACP. But one of the great things he also did was he is given the responsibility, or given the credit for building the NAACP through the southern states. So whatever power the NAACP brought forth in the southern states, came through the strategy of James Weldon Johnson. Such a great American, and I tell you all the time, and just remember, if you can't remember who James Weldon Johnson was, and I don't see how you could forget. I know none of us in the African diaspora can forget his name, because we all know, lift every voice and sing. Hey guys, we're gonna get back to music, and I'd like to, as I'll keep saying all day, dedicated to the mothers of the world, y'all. We're talking to the world, so wherever you are, if you're a mama in Africa, if you're a mama in Jamaica, if you're a mama in Russia, wherever you are in the United States, if you're a mama, if you're planning to be a mama, congratulations to you on Mother's Day, and please, we love you, moms, because we couldn't be here without you.
Love your family, take care of your family. neck bone.
Pass the keys, nigga, the neck bone falling off the bone.
Collard greens and chicken.
And fried chicken in this motherfucker. Give me a leg.
Sweet potato pie stepped on.
Oh, grandma did a thing.
Ooh, granny put a feed in.
I'm taking a couple of these pies home straight up.
Moonshine for my home.
We getting money now, but Tony, we straight, nigga.
Nigga, drink how you want.
Don't start acting crazy.
I help you like a weed tree.
Munch, beat, all up.
Nigga, smoke how you want. It's all love on the phone. So love your family. If you love your nigga, hug your nigga. If that's your sister, hug her right now. Hug your family. If she play with your sister, beat her fucking ass. Love your family. Go hug your family. One of my family go to jail.
You know how we is. We coming. We gon' fight for our people. Right now.
Everybody go to court.
Everybody going to court. Free Jerome, man. You already know it.
Sugar tea, potato salad.
You know my family make the best potato salad off the gate.
Made by my uncle Dad.
Main cheese playing cards. We love the game.
Shooting dice on the phone. Shake 'em up, let 'em go.
Bronson, your dice, nigga. Your dice, man.
Going with him to the phone.
I'm going with him, man. Oh, shit, it's time to eat, nigga.
Crawfish like, hey.
We love crawfish, ain't I?
Niggas sucking all the head. Oh, yeah. So love your family. If you love your nigga, hug your nigga. If that's your sister, hug her right now. Hug your family. If she play with your sister, beat her fucking ass. Love your family. Go love your family. Go hug your family. Sugar tea, potato salad.
Oh, we about to dance now.
Stir that potato salad here. Yeah. Made by my uncle head. Stir that potato salad here. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Sugar tea, potato salad. Stir it. Ooh. Made by my uncle dad. Ooh. Love my family. Everywhere we go, we gon' turn up. You gon' know we been there out the top. Just left Miami.
We on the jet skis. We going to Six Flags. Everywhere, straight up.
Ooh, love them chillin'. I love them damn shit. I love you. Keep my head. Family.
She's just a girl and she's on fire, hotter than a fantasy, lonely like a highway. She's living in a world and it's on fire, filled with catastrophe, but she knows she can fly away. Oh, she got both feet on the ground and she's burning it down. Oh, she got her head in the clouds and she's not backing down. This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. This the girl, but she's on fire.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seemed impossible to face, when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seemed impossible to face, and when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. I just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely
Thanks for tuning in on Sunday afternoon. And we just played Bill Withers, Lovely Day. We lost Bill Withers at 81 years old here. And we realized what beautiful music he brought to the forefront. And we're going to play another one of his songs in a few minutes in dedication to Mother's Day. And we're going to play, and I think we mentioned this a few minutes ago. You know, it looks like we're just trying to get everything in place here. Look like we're more nervous. I'm more nervous on Mother's Day than anybody else. I don't know why, but because I guess I want everybody to enjoy everything we're presenting here on Mother's Day, because it's such a special day. It's such a special day. You know, none of us would be here without our mamas. Right now, I'm going to play Bill Withers' Grandma's Hand.
Most of us at some point in our lives have somebody that means more to us than anybody else has ever meant before or will ever mean again. Sometimes it's a long-legged lady if you're a man, or some tall, very smooth man if you're a woman. And in some odd cases, they get kind of crossed up. We won't talk about those. But in my case, I learned how to really love somebody from not a very pretty lady, not at that point in her life, not sexy at all, but just a nice old lady who used some very nice old gnarled hands to make life kind of nice for me at that time when I really needed somebody. And it wasn't after I got older and started to look around for things. It was before I even knew what I was looking for. And probably, since I consider myself somebody who writes primarily, out of all the things that I might have written, my favorite thing that I've written has to be about this favorite old lady of mine. Grandma's hand clapped in church on Sunday morning. Grandma's hands played a tambourine so well. Grandma's hands used to issue out a warning. She'd say, Billy, don't you run so fast. Might fall on a piece of glass. Might be snakes there in that grass. Grandma's hand. Then Grandma's hands soothed the local unwed mother. Grandma's hands used to ache sometimes and swell. Oh, Grandma's hands used to lift her face and tell her, she'd say, baby, Grandma understands that you really love that man. Put yourself in Jesus' hands. Grandma's hands. Then Grandma's hands used to hand me a piece of candy. Grandma's hands picked me up each time I fell. Oh, Grandma's hands, boy, they really came in handy. She'd say, Matty, don't you whip that boy. What you wanna spank him for? He didn't drop no apple core, but I don't have Grandma anymore. If I get to heaven, I'll look for Grandma's hand.
Welcome to atlwebradio.com. We're in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm thinking about the virus that we're having all over the world. It seems to be almost uncontrollable. And I want to give recognition this afternoon to our mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms of Atlanta, for doing such a great job in keeping us healthy and making sure that that we are getting things done to remain healthy. So this afternoon, I want everybody to give a shout out to Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms of Atlanta, Georgia. She's doing a great job. She's doing a great job in working with the businesses and working with the community and making sure that as many of us as possible can stay healthy. While I'm talking now, I would like to say happy birthday to the young man who was slaughtered in Baldwin, Georgia, killed for no reason at all, just because we had those white haters decided they want to kill somebody, so they killed this young man, 25 years old today. Would be his birthday, I think, yesterday or today. So we want to recognize that. And folks, let me say this, as we're all here trying to exist and be the best we can, doing all we can, stay, let's just try to stay away from all those hate. I don't know. I know this man didn't know he was running down the street, he was going to be killed that day. But for all the haters, I mean, try to get some love in your heart for people. I was thinking the other day about professions, and I was telling myself, I think the only job I think I would never want, if I had something to do for the government, I'd get to be a scientist who had to go in and find things like the coronavirus, to find things that actually kill people, to make poisons and all that kind of stuff. I kind of wonder how you go to work every day and you know, well, what I'm going to make today and how many people is this going to kill. That's got to be pretty tough on you to go to a job like that. Go to work every day on a job like I don't know. I don't think I could do it, but it's done. So somebody likes that kind of work because somebody's doing it. And I thank God it ain't me. I thank God that I never had that kind of mentality to want to see anything that would happen to people that would be harmful to them. I like to play a recognition also to a friend of mine, Rodney Hirsch, who wrote a book. Well, I know Rodney for years, part of the civil rights movement. Back in Jacksonville, Florida, he wrote a book called "It Was Never About a Hot Dog and a Coke." And I want to say hello to Rodney, to him for all. He's still out there on the road, still out there fighting for equal rights. And when you see things that what happened in Birmingham, I think that was right there in Baldwin, somewhere down there in Georgia, right outside of Jacksonville, really. And so I just want to encourage everybody, if you know this gentleman, keep in touch with him, because he's still out there on the road, still fighting for us to get the rights that we all deserve. So we're saying on Mother's Day, Rodney, we're giving you a shout-out. I'd like to also give a shout-out to my grandson in Texas. I want to say, hello, Malik. Happy birthday again. And he's a teenager now, so, he's chasing girls like we all did when we were teenagers. And some of us never stopped because some of us never grew up. But at some time we all have to chill out, settle down, and try to find that one special woman you want to be with. Right now we're going back to music in a minute. I think we're going back to music now. And here's a lady I would like for you. I know you'll recognize this. I know you recognize this tune. I'm not going to even tell you what the tune is from now on, because it seems that every time I tell you guys what the tune is, seems that something that I didn't plan to play comes up. I'm glad you heard Alicia Keys, but right now I'm going to turn you on to one of the old artists, some of the old artists from. I really like this song.
Most of us at some point in our lives have somebody that means more to us than anybody else has ever meant before or will ever mean again. Sometimes it's a long-legged lady if you're a man, or some tall, very smooth man if you're a woman. And in some odd cases, they get kind of crossed up. We won't talk about those. But in my case,
Let's know the song exactly what it is.
jumping, and everybody's having a good time. And you know what's going through my mind. Do you mind if I get comfortable and kick off these shoes while you fixing me a drink? Play me some of them down home blues. She say, you know I don't get out much on the town, and you know I done cut out a lot of that running around all week long. I've been keeping my cool, but tonight I'm gonna let my head down and get down with these down home blues. Down home blues, down home blues. All she wanted to hear was some down home blues all night long. Every other record or two. She said, take off those spice records and let me hear some down home blues.
me too. Now you're busy loving someone else. 11 years out of my life. Besides the kids, I had nothing to show. Wasted my years, all full of life. I should have left your ass long time ago. Well, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna shed no tears. No, I'm not gonna cry. Not the time. 'Cause you're not worth my tears. Can't do it. Well, I'm not gonna cry. I said I can't do it. I'm not gonna shed no tears. You are never worth my tears. I'm not gonna cry. It's not the time. 'Cause you're not worth my tears. I was a lover in your secretary, working every day of the week. Was at the job when no one else was there, helping you get on your feet. 11 years of sacrifice, and you can leave me at the drop of a dime. Swallow my fears, stood by your side. I should have left your ass 1,000 times. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna shed no tears. I deserve better. I'm not gonna cry. It's not the time. 'Cause you're not worth my tears. Look what I should have said. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna shed no tears. I'm not gonna cry no more. No, 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 no. I know there are no guarantees. In love, you take your chances, but somehow it seems unfair to me. Look at the circumstances, through sickness and health, till death do us part. Those were the words that we said from my heart. So now when you say that you're leaving me, I don't get that far. Was your lover and your secretary, working every day of the week. Was at the job when no one else was there, helping you get on your feet. 11 years of sacrifice, and you can leave me at the drop of a dime. Swallow my fears, stood by your side. I should have left your ass 1,000 times. Again and again and again. I said I should have been gone, 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 gone. No, no, no. I'm not gonna cry. It's not worth the time for your life. Oh, oh, oh. Well, I'm not gonna shed a tear 'cause you're lying. I'm not gonna cry. I said I can't do it. You are never worth my tears. No, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna shed all the tears I cry. No, I'm not gonna shed tears. You're not worth my tears. But you're wrong. But you're wrong. You're wrong. I'm not gonna shed a tear.
Thanks for listening.
I know a place. Ain't nobody crying. Ain't nobody worried. Ain't no smiling faces. Oh no, flying to the races.
take you there this afternoon too, folks. Uh, as you know, as we're celebrating Mother's Day, and I don't think I need to say that again. But anyway, I was just the other day. I'd like to pay recognition to Rosa Louise McCully Parks. And everybody knows Rosa Parks. She was a lady who didn't get off the bus. But what made me bring her up was the other day a few weeks ago, I was just looking at television, and I heard this old Jewish lady said when she was talking about protesting or something, she said, "I was just like Rosa Parks. I stood my ground. I did not move. Like she sat down, I did not stand up." And that, what I liked about that was here's a Jewish lady, and she's protesting, and she's on the protest, and she's in recognition in her protest of what Rosa Parks did, an African American woman. I thought that was so hot. That was so hot to me. Or Thurgood Marshall. You guys know Thurgood Marshall? He won 29. He won 29 or 32 cases in front of the Supreme Court, and so it was decided that everybody said that's why he was put on the court, because it seems that every time he was in front of the Supreme Court, he was always winning his cases. So it was always, they decided the best thing we can do to resolve this is just put him on the court. Right now, another thing, in thinking about all the civil rights and all the things that's happened over the past in our history, and I make it a point of talking about our history because I think that it's a topic that should be talked about more in terms of all the great things that we've done in the history of America, and that was just a minute. I had to take a break there. But anyway, the history of African Americans is so rich. I want to say, before I say anything else, I want to say good afternoon to Goomba Storytellers, which I'm a member of Goomba Association. We had our drive for to rejoin this year yesterday. We had a meeting so you can, if you want to become a storyteller in the right way, you can join Goomba Storytellers. And I'm signing up every year because the history they will bring to you through that organization is phenomenal. So you guys, I want you to really be on top of everything that's possible in history, and that's why we're talking about it as much as possible. So today we want to say hello and give recognition to Rosa Parks on Mother's Day, and she was a great mother, the mother of civil rights movement, Miss Rosa Parks. There's so many people to think about in our history, because there's so many people that did great things in our history. But the arts has been a great thing in our history. As far as everything else, I think everybody gets so focused on all the things that we've done in terms of arts until they forget about some of the other things that we did. I think it was Garrett Augusta Morgan who invented the traffic light, and they called him Mr. Safety because not only did he invent the traffic light, he also invented the first fireman's mask that the firemen were on. He was the guy who invented that also. So he was given, in history, he's recognized as Mr. Safety, Garrett Augusta Morgan. Remember all these names, folks, and let your kids write them down. And if you want to research all these people, to get further data in terms of what the kind of history, because he became, I think, something like he came something like a hair product that he came out with too, that increased his status in terms of his income. Garrett Augusta Morgan. Remember that name. Not that we want to recognize him, but as we know, this is Ladies' Day, and we're recognizing ladies today, and we're going to get back to music in just a minute because I want to hit you guys with a nice love song from the guy that you always that everybody loves his singing. I don't know anybody who can tell me that they don't like this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, on Mother's Day. this time? I'm trying to hear for you, Mr. Al Green. Come on, Al. Come on, Al. Come on to the mic. We're trying to get Al Green to the mic here. You'll be here in a minute. You can very well tell that this is a day that I am enjoying very much because of all the crazy things I didn't expect happening to me today. And right now, I'm still trying to see if Al Green is going to come in and sing this song for us. So in the meantime, let's see if we can get Al Green. Come on, Al Green. Come on, Al Green. Al Green. Al Green. Go back to the staple singers. One of the things I want to say this today. Today, I'm going to tell the biggest lie today that can be told today, and that is that President Trump will not tell a lie today. So that's the biggest lie I can tell today, is that President Trump will not tell a lie today, because he is pretty good at forgetting the truth. Ladies, ladies, I'm trying to get Al Green to come in and sing a song for you. And I'm sure he's trying to get here to perform for you, because it's Mother's Day. I know he would want you ladies to enjoy his music. And we'll be right back with you.
Mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now. Where did all the blue skies go? Poison is the rain that blows from the north and south and east. Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now. Oil wasted on the oceans and upon our seas, fish full of mercury. Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be. No, radiation underground and in the sky. Animals and birds who live nearby are dying. Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things and what they used to be. What about this overcrowded land? How much more abuse from men can't you stand? blame to no one else. Now I realize I can't get over you. And though I do my very best, I just can't find happiness. And girl, it's all because I can't get over you. Hey baby, it makes me cry. No matter how I try, I'm gonna love you by and by, it's just too hard to hide. I can't get over you. I try to lose myself in song, but the tide's not much too strong. What am I gonna do? I can't get over you. It makes me feel so bad. Nothing up the love we had. That one thing I know, I will always love you so. Love you.
Hey, thanks for tuning in.
well, day will make a way for night. All we'll need is candlelight and a song. Yeah, soft and long. Well, glad to be here alone with a lover like no other. Sad to see a new horizon slowly coming into view. Yeah, I wanna be living for the love of you. Oh, yes, I am. All that I'm giving is for the love of you. All right now, lovely as a ray of sun that touches me when the morning comes closer to me. Yeah, my love and me. Well, smoother than a gentle breeze, flowing through my mind with ease, soft as can be. Well, when you're loving me, when you're loving me, love to be riding the waves of your love, enchanted with your touch. It seems to me we could sail together in and out of mystery. Well, I wanna be living for the love of you. All right now, all that I'm giving is for the love of you. You got me, girl. I wanna be living for the love of you. All right now, all that I'm giving is for the love of you. Oh, yes, I am. Paradise I have within. Can't feel insecure again. You're the key. Well, and this I see. Oh, I see. Now and then I lose my way, using words to try to say what I feel. Yeah, love is real. Oh, love is real. Ooh. I might as well sign my name on a card which can say it better. Time will tell, 'cause it seems that I've done just about all that I can do. I know that I'm living for the love of you. Oh, yes, I am. I know that I'm living for the love of you. Every day I'm living for love of you. I'm living for the love each and every day.
Hey, you're hanging out with us here. Paul Freeman Live. Keep it moving. atlwebradio.com. And we're here in this great city of Atlanta, talking to you, the world. And hopefully you guys all over in England and everywhere listening, tuning in, and hearing this good music we're playing. We're going to be playing music from from England next. We're going to play some artists from England next week. We're going to be playing international artists. Getting back to some history points, I was talking about Thurgood Marshall a few minutes ago, who was a Supreme Court justice from 67 to to 1991. He attended Howard University. What got him to Howard University was he went to Lincoln University along with Langston Hughes and Cab Calloway. I don't know if you guys know Cab Calloway, but he's one of the jazz singers, and he had one song I remember, Heidi 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 Ho, and it was big. It stayed on the jazz circuit forever. He was a band leader, Cab Calloway. Went to Lincoln University, which was a HBC. And once, but getting back to Thurgood Marshall, once he graduated from Lincoln University, he tried to enroll at the University of Maryland to attend law school, and they told him, "No, we don't want that color up in here now." And so, subsequently, he went to Howard University, which is another HBC. And at Howard University, he graduated, and he always graduated at the top of his classes most of the time. The 14th Amendment, 1896, was one of his great things, outlawing of abolishing of slavery. 14th Amendment. Another thing about Thurgood Marshall, which I want to say, is that he won all those cases, and he was on the case of Brown versus Board of Education. That was one of his big wins in his courts fighting. And then I want to talk about now for a lady, Ruby Nell Bridges was born September 8, 1954. She was an American civil rights activist. She was the first African American child to desegregate the all-white William Frantz Elementary School in Louisiana during the New Orleans school desegregation crisis, and they call New Orleans, as you know. That was September the 14th in 1960. She is the subject of a 1964 painting, "The Problem We All Live With" by Norman Rockwell. And I'm sure you've seen Rockwell's work. He's a very famous artist, and she was a philanthropist and an activist in her lifetime. This is what she was part of her moving on and moving forward in life. Bridges issued a proclamation in her honor. The following month, she was honored. Let me say this: the Alameda United School District in California named a new elementary school for Bridges in 2006 and issued a proclamation in her honor. The following month, she was honored as a hero against racism at the 12th Annual Anti-Defamation League Concert Against Hate with the National Symphony Orchestra held at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. So this happened in honor of Miss, and you guys try to remember his name, Miss Ruby Bridges. Remember, she was just a little baby when she desegregated school in New Orleans, as they say, New Orleans. That I think. What do we want to talk about? We want to talk about any more people in history. Let's talk about. I'm trying to come up with another lady for you guys, because I really wanted to. As I say, this is Ladies' Day, and we talked about Gwendolyn Brooks last week, and she said reading is important. Read between the lines. Don't swallow everything. Make sure you understand what she's saying. And Gwendolyn Brooks, who we talked about last week, she had two Guggenheim Awards. She was the first Pulitzer Prize Award winner. We spoke on that last week. But she was a really nice person. I had an opportunity to meet her some years ago down in Miami, and you'd be surprised how warm a person she was. And next week, I'll probably tell you, in meeting Gwendolyn Brooks, I'll tell you what an impact she had on my life, and what I did after what some advice I got from her that led to me doing some other things in life. As we're keep it moving, folks. Hollering at you from Atlanta. The ATL Web Radio, right here for you. And we're going back to music now. And let me see, can we get Johnny Guitar Watson in here? Can we get anybody to show up at this station? Everybody look like they're mad with us on Sunday. You know, maybe they're celebrating Sunday with it. Oh boy, I gotta remember this. Happy birthday to my grandson in Palm Beach, Ryan. Happy birthday, Ryan. Enjoy. I know you're home chilling out, trying to stay away from the virus. And I wanna, oh, I can't. I'm trying to remember the young man's name because he had the Kawasaki flu, and he's up in Jakari. I'm not gonna call his last name, but that's his name. A young man who's in the family of some friends of mine, and I had a picture of him. I wanted to show it to you. I don't have it right now, but he's up. He's home now. I think they say the Kawasaki is like the coronavirus virus. That's what, for the kids they call it Kawasaki. I don't know why it has two names, but they said it does the same thing, and that is it does nothing good for you. You can bet on that. We're trying to Mother's Day today, and we want to recognize all.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Drifting on a memory. Ain't no place I'd rather be than with you. Yeah, loving you. Well. Day will make a way for night. All we'll need is candlelight and a song. Yeah, soft and long. Well, glad to be here alone with a lover like no other. Sad to see a new horizon slowly coming into view. Yeah, I wanna be living for the love. Oh, yes, all that.
Al Green said he'll be in next week when we sign the check. I just want you to know that's why he didn't perform today. We got to get that check signed.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Drifting on a memory. Ain't no place I'd rather be than with you. Yeah, loving you. Well. Day will make a way for night. All we'll need is candlelight and a song. Yeah, soft and long. Well, glad to be here alone with a lover like no other. Sad to see a new horizon slowly coming into view. Yeah, I wanna be living for the love. Oh, yes, all that I'm giving is for the love of you. All right now, lovely as a ray of sun that touches me when the morning comes, feels good to me. Yeah, my love and me. Smoother than a gentle breeze, flowing through my mind with ease, soft as can be. Well, when you're loving me, when you're loving to be riding the waves of your love, enchanted with your touch. And it seems to me we could sail together in and out of mystery. Well, I wanna be living for the love of you. Alright, all that I'm giving is for the love of you. You got me, girl. I wanna be living for the love of you. Alright now, all that I'm giving is for the love of you. Oh,
Zora Neale Hurston was an American author, anthropologist, and filmmaker. She portrayed racial struggles in the early 1900s, American South, and published research on hoodoo. The most popular of her novels is Their Eyes Were Watching God, which was published in 1937. She was born in 1891, and she made it to 1960. She was educated at Columbia University. She has a Guggenheim Awards Fellowship for Creative Arts, U.S. and Canada, and a state award. And the Guggenheim Fellowship, the Charles MacArthur Award in Polk County, and the Wolf Book Award for nonfiction. Um, Zora Neale Hurston. Remember those names. And a lot of people I can throw out at you. As far as I use as far as women. As far as artists, I would, Aretha Franklin. I like to recognize her today. But anyway, we don't have any jazz people, but in recognition of Mother's Day for African American women, I'd like to recognize Ella Fitzgerald, probably the greatest woman jazz singer, Nancy Wilson, and Sarah Vaughan, jazz singers of the era that we can always mothers and great artists. And we're gonna try to get back to you with Boys to Men if they'll come in and do a song. We gotta. I guess we ain't paying people, so they ain't singing. Is that why they're not here? But anyway, we're trying to bring. Anyway, we're gonna try to bring the Boys to Men, and I hope everybody can hear me this week because last week people told me, say, well, we see you, but we couldn't hear you. So hopefully this week you can hear what you can hear me at home. And we're gonna be as I told you last week, we're gonna be bringing in. I'm gonna be bringing in some really, really, really awesome people out of community who are people who are entrepreneurs. I was just thinking about a friend of mine now who's here. She's an entrepreneur, and I've never known this woman to not be self-employed. I'm not going to call her name. She's going to call me tonight and say, Paul, why you didn't go? But I'll tell her, well, I didn't know you. I didn't want to call your name, and you called me and tell me don't call your name on the radio. At least if I didn't call your name, you can fuss me out about that. And next week we're gonna be. In fact, I'm gonna have some guests in next week. One of the things we plan to do within this show is I'm gonna have couples come in because one of the things I want to focus on is relationships today. And we're gonna bring gentlemen in and a lady to tell us what you women would like to have in a man, what kind of man you want, what kind of man you're looking for, and what are the things that you find that attracts you to a man. I know you want a strong man and want someone who's strong and standing on their feet and can take care of themselves. I know you're not looking to take care of anybody. So, but next we're gonna bring in a gentleman to come in and tell you what he was looking for in a lady. How fine she got to be, how thin or how fat, how short, how tall, how dark, how light. We got all that in our race. We can go up and down the line. We can go darker or lighter. That's how awesome we are. So we're gonna be focused on that, and we're gonna focus on a lot of things in the community, too. I want to advise all you guys to stay home as much as you can, so you don't have to be bothered with the coronavirus. I found that works for me. And as they say, please wash your hands and so you don't have a problem with picking up this virus, because it seems to be that the only thing about the virus that concerns me with is I'm hoping they want to get rid of the virus, but what scares me most is that it's taking out it's like African Americans, people in the diaspora, are what 80% of us are affected by this. Do you know if there are 3,000 people that pass away? I mean, you know, that's 2,400 African Americans in that 3,000. That means, wow, we ain't trying to leave here that fast, and we darn sure don't want to leave here with that virus. So I'm asking you guys to please make sure you take care of yourselves, look out for your families, and remember today, for the last time I'm going to say this, this is Mother's Day. Congratulations to you, all your moms. And I'm hollering at you from Atlanta Web Radio in Atlanta, Georgia, in Atlanta, GA. And hopefully you guys enjoying the music. Hopefully you're enjoying the history notes we're bringing forth to you. And most of all, hopefully you're just having an awesome day overall. We're going to get back to some music here. Boys to Men. Let's see if we can get them to come in the studio and perform for us on Mother's Day.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Drifting on a memory. Ain't no place I'd rather be than with you. Yeah. I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is alright with me. 'Cause you make me feel so brand new. And I want to spend my life with you. And they say, sing, baby, since we've been together, ooh, loving you forever is what I need. Let me be the one you come running to. Never be untrue. Oh, baby, let's stay together, loving you weather, times are good or bad, happy or sad. Yeah. The times are good and bad, happy or sad. Why people break up, oh, and turn around and make up? I just came to see keep it inside. You're the driving force in my life. Yeah. There isn't anything or anyone that I could be, and it just wouldn't feel right if I didn't have you by my side. Oh, you were there for me to love and care for me when skies were gray. Whenever I was down, you were always there to comfort me. No one else can be what you have been to me. You will always be, you will always be the girl in my life for all time. Mama, mama, you know I love you. Ooh, you know I love you, mama. Mama, you're the queen of my heart. Your love is like tears from the stars. Yes, he said, Mama, I just want you to know, loving you is like food to my soul. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Yes it is, yes it is. Oh. You're always down for me, have always been around for me, even when I was bad. You showed me right from my wrong. Yes you did, and you took up for me when everyone was down on me. You always did understand. You gave me strength to go on. There were so many times looking back when I was so afraid, and then you come to me and say to me I could face anything, and no one else can do what you've done for me. You'll always be, you will always be the girl in my life. Ooh, oh, mama. Mama, you know I love you. You know I love you. You know I love you. Mama, ooh. Mama, you're the queen of my heart. Your love is like tears from the stars. It's like tears from the stars. Mama, I just want you to know. Want you to know, loving you is like food to my soul. Never gonna go a day without you. Fills me up just thinking about you. I'll never go a day without my mama. You know, mama, you know. Tears from the stars. Your love is like tears from the stars. Mama, I just want you to know, loving you is like food to my soul. Loving you is like food to my soul. Oh, yeah. You are the food.
Voice of Men, dedicated to you ladies on Monday. Voice of Men, yeah, I got it on. Sure have. Yeah. Voice of Men, dedicated to you ladies on Ladies' Day. And here we go again with history profile.
I want to dedicate this song to all the independent ladies all around the world.
I want to Bessie Smith, who was considered the Empress of the Blues during her prime years. Bessie Smith was not only the top female jazz and blues singer to record in the 1920s, but was one of the most powerful vocalists of all time. No other singer during 1920 to 19 was able to overcome both the primitive recording quality of the time and the indifferent playing by some of her accompanist to such an extent that listeners can easily ignore both and concentrate solely on her voice. Her singing only on these early recordings, on her early recordings, we don't have them here today. We have them next week. She was born April 15 in 1894 in Chattanooga, in Tennessee, as one of 7 children in a very poor family. Bessie's father, a part-time Baptist preacher, died shortly after her birth, and her mother passed away 9 years later. She was raised by an older sister. Jessie Smith attended public school, but from the age of 9, she sang on the streets with her brother Andrew accompanying her on guitar, earning money for the family. Traveled with Ma Rainey. She traveled with Ma Rainey and the minstrel shows in 1912 when she was 18. Bessie had an audition with a traveling minstrel show, becoming at first a dancer and occasional singer with the Moses Stock Troupe. The company featured Ma Rainey, the first known female blues singer. Bessie was already on the way towards forming her own singing style, but Ma Rainey, who became a mother figure to her, taught her a lot about surviving in show business. Ma Rainey has a great future too. We're going to tell you more about her next week when we come on. As the weeks come on, we'll probably be going back and forth with some of these artists, with some of these people, because they have such a rich history that we can only capture just so much at this given time. And one of the things, I want to give you guys some an upnote. I like to like for you to know this, that I know people are going to say, no, I don't believe that. But trust me, research has shown that the most concerts around the world, musical concerts around the world, blues is the king. And we didn't play much blues today, but we're going to play a lot more. We're going to play more blues next week for you, because I didn't get Johnny Guitar Watson on today. I didn't get Bobby Womack on today. And these are guys who will be coming forward next week. I don't think we even got Anita Baker on today. So we didn't get everybody we wanted to reach you with today, but we'll get them to you next week. But I'll be getting out of here in a few minutes. As again, I want to remind you, my name is Paul Freeman. I'm coming to you from atlwebradio.com live in Atlanta, and the Paul Freeman live show is called Keep It Moving. So, all I'd like to do is encourage all young people to strive to be the best you can be. All children today, be obedient to your mom. Don't give her no problem today. Just show all the love you can without being disobedient today, because this is her day and you don't want her to get upset and be angry. You want her to enjoy those greens or that prime rib or whatever she's having, whatever you guys are having for dinner. But as I said, next week we're going to come on and we're going to feature more artists. And like I told you, we're going to bring we're going to bring artists in, and we're going to bring in entrepreneurs in, and we're just going to fill your entertainment pleasure with whatever you desire from 3 to 5 on Sundays. Paul Freeman Live. Keep it moving, keep it moving. And I want you people to remember one thing. When I say keep it moving, that means keep it moving upward or straight forward. Now, sometimes you have to move backwards to come forward. So if you take 2 steps back, make sure you take 8 steps forward. Okay? Sometimes you got to step back, push a little harder. So we want you to do that. I'm enjoying this immensely. Let me see, can we get one more song up, because I know I got to get out of here in just about 2 minutes. And I'm going to go back to if we can, I'm trying to. I would like to get back. Well, whatever we can get, whatever we can, going out. we're gonna take it there. And since we lost Bill Withers,
I want to dedicate this song to all the independent ladies all around the world.
I want to say,
Lord knows I take my hat off to every woman that's being a woman
ring
and being a woman about her. All the independent ladies in the world, keep your head up. This song is dedicated to you from Sir Charles Jones.
I remember many years ago, Mama struggled to put food on the table. My baby struggled to raise 4 bad kids all alone. Never once complained about our daddies being gone. I think about the day as a grown man. To my beautiful babies, I'm gonna be a man. Amen. To all the ladies out there that's holding it down. That's doing your thing without the daddies around. Yeah. All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. You deserve it, put your hands up. All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. Can you holler if you hear me out? All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. Much love to you. To be treated like a queen. Any boy can make a baby, but it takes a man. To stick by your little babies the best you can. The woman already catching enough pain. Won't you kick in and help trying to do the thing? Yeah, yeah. I think about today as a grown man. To my beautiful babies, I'ma be a man. To all the ladies out there that's holding it down. That's doing your thing without the daddy around. Independent lady. All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. Cause you deserve the very best. All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. Much love from me. Yeah. All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. Can you holler if you hear me? To be treated like a queen. Independent lady. All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. Keep your head up high. All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. You deserve the very best. All the independent ladies, throw your hands up. The independent ladies, to be treated like a queen. Yeah.
hey guys, it's about time for me to get out of here. I've enjoyed just hanging out with you today. I look forward to seeing you next week.
Love your family. Take care of your grand.
It's all love in the Boosie family.
because that's important. Family love is very, very, very extremely important. And make sure that whatever you're doing, you're loving on your family. Because if you don't have family, what else do you have? That's where it starts from. So, I ask you guys, please, whatever you're doing, love your family.
Love your family. Take care of your grand.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of